It's the beginning of day 3. Well, I'm a couple of hours at least into day 3. So I went past that pond again, and the only trail that leads in the general direction that the AT should go in is what I'm on, but on the GPS it shows I'm off trail. And there's not a single white blaze anywhere. This is very frustrating, but I mean, it is a trail, right or wrong. Hopefully I'll come across someone who can tell me if I'm in the wrong place, but I'm not doing as many miles today. I'm only gonna go to Jenny Knob Shelter, which is less than 9 miles. This is really frustrating when they don't adequately blaze a trail. You've got this big old campground and not a single white blaze can be seen from anywhere in that campground to tell you which way you should go. So I'll probably be writing to the ATC about it because, yeah. Anyways, really, really frustrated. The GPS says I'm going off trail, but this is the only trail. There was nothing else, no markings, nothing. So I don't know. We'll see what happens later. Okay, I've come more than a mile down this only trail that I could find coming off that campground. Not a single white blaze, not one. No footprints, just hoof prints from horses. And on gut hooks it shows I'm going farther and farther away from the trail. So I don't know what to do except go back to the campground and just wait. Hope somebody goes by who knows where the trail is. But seriously, in that campground you can't see a single white blaze anywhere. And I've got no service, so I can't call the ATC and say, what the hey? Which way do I go? Where's the bloody trail? So these people on horseback came up the horse trail, and so I explained my dilemma, and they said if I took this road, the horse trail, it would get me back to the AT. So that's what I'm taking, but this is what I'm having to deal with like once every minute or so. All the others I've managed to get around, and this one, today is not fun, folks. It's not fun. But at least I know I'm going to be back on the AT pretty soon. So, and poor Dan, I managed to get a text out to him saying, please call the ATC in West Virginia. Tell them, explain my situation. Where the heck do I go? If I follow the trail, like on gut hooks, then I'm entering an area that says do not enter. If I take any other trail, then I'm off the AT. So, and there's no white blazes. And I've had no service ever since I got that text out. My left shoulder is in excruciating pain too. I tweaked it a few weeks ago, and this hike is really causing it to flare up really bad. So as soon as I can stop, I'm going to take some ibuprofen so I can get this day finished out. I'm trying to get to Jenny Knob Shelter, but I may only get as far as Dismal Falls, which is where I wanted to be yesterday, so I'm a day behind. But you gotta roll with the punches and the puddles. All right, later. Okay. So the horse trail did lead me back to the AT. Here's where I am. Heading south again. And if the purist wants to say, well, you haven't hiked, you haven't done a through hike because you missed those miles, you know what? I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. I've done more miles going back and forth and trying to find that blasted trail than if I had just found it and hiked it. So purists can think whatever they want. I'm not coming back and doing those miles again. Someday maybe the ATC manages to actually mark the trail for southbounders so that they can actually see where they're supposed to go instead of a sign that says do not enter where the trail is leading. you know, but I'm back on the trail, and like I said, I walked more miles because the trail wasn't marked than if I had just been able to find the trail. So, whatever. I'm through hiking this, and if people want to argue and say, well, it's not a through hike, I'm sorry. I'm doing Georgia to Maine in a backflip. I'm still covering miles. I don't care if it wasn't on the actual AT. If the AT were marked, it would have been on the AT. All right, that's enough of me being annoyed. I got 8 miles to go to get to Jenny Knob, and it's almost noon. And I've got some uphills to do. All I've had for breakfast this morning was 3 mouthfuls of olive oil and a Baby Bell cheese because I couldn't get my energy butter open. It was too cold. It was like it just wouldn't open. And I didn't have time to heat up water for my cereal. So, and I didn't want to waste the water on it anyway because I didn't have very much. Still don't have very much. Next water source I come to, I've got to camel up. All right, I'm off. Short on time, and as soon as I get a signal, poor Dan, he must be worried to death, but I'll get news to him as soon as I can. All right, folks, I'm out. Bye. So I've crossed, I don't know, 4 or 5 creeks that were supposed to be water sources, and they were bone dry. And this is my water source. Yeah, it's pretty gross, but it's all there is, and I don't even think I've got a half a liter of water left at this point. And I'm not sure, but the sources up ahead may be bone dry, so I gotta get it where I can. So I'm drinking what's left in here, and as much of the other water as I can, and then I'm gonna camel up. Yay. Well, you know what? I'm thankful for water. I was starting to get pretty worried. And at least I have a really good filter. So I'm going to flush it out first. And then filter this, then flush it out again. Because this is pretty murky. I can see little bugs swimming in it. Mosquito larvae. Yay. Hey, it's water. Okay. Got my water. And yeah, it looks bad to look at it, but you know what? Scooping it out, it was actually pretty clear and really cold. And there it is. You'd never know that this came from that, would you? All right, moving on. Not sure how far I'm going to get today. That filtering that water took a while, but onward. Okay, so the ATC has done it to me again. I've come to this creek. Okay. And after I cross it, there's a trail there, and there's a trail there. Neither one of them are marked with, well, there's pink tape marking some trees going that way, and then there's pink tape on that tree. I don't know what that means, but there's no white blaze. It looks like maybe there was one on that tree 100 years ago, but it's hard to tell. And it doesn't matter which way I point my phone. On the satellite, it's not the trail. These are the only 2 trails after crossing the bridge. Nothing is marked. It almost looks like the trail was supposed to lead somewhere else before crossing the bridge, but the trail leads, see, there's the trail, and it leads right to this bridge. And the creek is marked on the map, and there's no other trail going anywhere, but you cross it and you got a trail there, and you got one here. That could be a very faint white mark, white blaze, but when I go that way, Gut Hooks is telling me I'm going off the trail. Good grief. ATC, you need to get it together. I don't know how people don't get lost every year out here. It's just the most well-marked, well-traveled. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's well-traveled, but you know what? When there's other trails to choose from, they make you guess. They make you guess. I have no idea which way to go. Oh well, I better pick one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Here we go. Okay, so I figured out where I went wrong. I was coming down the trail going south, and I came to this. The trail seemed to go right to it. And I thought surely there would be a bridge over something that deep. Because imagine if that's full of water. I mean, how are you going to cross it? And so I doubled back and saw one of those double blazes that indicates a turn, that the trail is turning. And I thought, oh, okay, so this isn't the trail, it turns. Yeah, it turns if you're going northbound, which is what I ended up doing by following that, because you come across this big deep creek here, and guess what? There's no blazes to tell you that yes, this is the way you want to go. So I just went northbound for I don't know how long, a couple miles maybe, that I had to turn around and do over again, backtrack. You know, anytime, I just don't understand. It's like I have to have gut hooks in front of me all the time because I can't trust the trail. I can't trust the blazes. They're not where they need to be, especially after making a turn or something like that. Or if you come to a place where there's multiple trails running into each other, half the time they don't even tell you which way to go. And ew. Oh, I get to cross this now. Won't that be fun? All right, over and out. Moving on. Thank you, trail. I needed this. I think I must be getting close to Dismal Falls. Less than 2 miles to go, and then I'm calling it a day. It's been a rough day. Be nice to camp next to a creek tonight. All right, about 1.5 miles to go. Okay, y'all, I made it to Dismal Falls. Campsites are kind of slim pickings. I found one that looks super nice, really mossy, and then I realized the moss was growing on rock. And I don't have a freestanding tent, and I'm not sure where I'd find some rocks to hold down the things. Anyway, I found a spot. It's not ideal because there's this really big, totally dead tree, which in a really bad storm will probably fall over one of these days, but it's leaning away from where I want to put my tent. So I'm going to hope for the best because I really can't find anything else. So my spot's going to be right over there somewhere. You know, I only did 6.5 trail miles today, but counting all the times I went the wrong way and had to backtrack, it was probably more like 12 miles. Actually, this day was harder on me than the first day, than climbing that mountain out of Harrisburg. This day was, I don't know, really hard. Well, part of the reason is because I've not really eaten today, except, like I said, the olive oil, the piece of cheese, and then at one point along the trail, I had a couple pieces of jerky. That's it. I'm craving meat so bad. I know I'm not getting enough protein, and I started just fantasizing about eating an entire roasted chicken or a huge ribeye steak. That would be amazing. I'm not getting enough protein for all the hiking I'm doing. My shoulder is really killing me. I'm going to take some ibuprofen. You know, sometimes I can hike for miles and miles and it feels really good. And then all of a sudden it'll just start hurting so bad. And I think next time I get into a town of any size, I might try and get in and see a doctor. I almost feel like I need some kind of super anti-inflammatory shot or something. But yeah, the trail is very challenging. Every bit as challenging as I imagined, if not more so. But it's nothing that I feel like I can't handle. Ow. Even just raising my arm hurts. I'm pretty happy with myself right now. I got a lot of monkey wrenches tossed in the spokes today. Not knowing where to go when I got to that pond. And accidentally going northbound for who knows how long I was on that trail. I was on that trail for so long before I finally, something just didn't feel right, and I checked the gut hooks, and yep, I was going the wrong way. It was really, really confusing the way they have the trail marked there. And you come to that really deep creek where, you know, there's others that are like that and they've got bridges over them. And so I thought, surely this can't be the trail going over this thing, because when it's full of water, it'd be impassable. So that's one thing that kind of threw me. And then I saw the one double blaze indicating change of direction, and I took the northbound as my change of direction, unfortunately. But the trail did go over that really deep stream thing. Fortunately, there was no water in it, so, you know, I crossed over on dry land. But man, a lot of really boggy places on the trail, like really deep mud, swampy, woof, like you'd lose your boot in it, you know, pretty bad. And trying to scoot around the edge on something firm, you know, is a little bit challenging. And but I did it. I got my boots in a few inches. I don't know if you can see my boots, but my shoes. I don't know if I had that aimed right or not, but so yeah, they got a little muddy. They're getting a little beat up. I don't know if they're going to last this entire... Ants, get off of me. I don't know if they're going to last this entire hike or not, but I really hope I am. I hope I'm tougher than my shoes. It was a hard day. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I took my first fall yesterday. Fortunately, oh, sorry about the sun there. Fortunately, it was not a face plant like what I did on my shakedown hike. I ended up just planting my right knee on the ground, and I'm so glad I didn't have a worse fall because it was a very rocky part of the trail. But I did get a hole in my leggings. That's okay. I might put some of the stuff I used to patch my tent. I might put some of that on my knees. Might put it on both my knees, just big old patches in case I fall again. Anyway, I don't have a signal here. I'm not able to communicate with anyone at home, but I did text Dan just as I was turning off to the campground here, and so hopefully he doesn't worry. But I'm glad I'm getting here somewhat early. It's 4 o'clock, and I'm hoping it's not quite as cold tonight. Last night, I had such a hard time sleeping. I think tonight I'm just going to take a bunch of Benadryl and just let it knock me out. And I'll just put on all my layers and wrap that quilt around me as best I can and just knock myself out. Because I did not get any sleep last night, hardly at all. Maybe 3-4 hours tops. It was just so cold. Alright, y'all. It's time for me to set up camp. I don't know where I'm going to hang my bear bag. I don't know, honestly, if I'm even going to bother. I don't think my arms could toss anything right now. And I really don't. It stays like this. I really wish I would have stuck with the earth sack. Well, maybe I'll use it for the second half of my hike, because the thought of hanging a bear bag right now, my shoulders are just killing me. I honestly don't know if I can do it. And it's kind of slim pickings around here. Anyways, I do have an odor barrier bag surrounding my food, and my food is all vacuum sealed and all that. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Alright, I'm going to call it a day, get busy setting up camp, get some food in me, because I don't feel hungry, but my energy level is telling me I need to eat. So, and I will see you hopefully early tomorrow morning. I didn't get on the trail till like 9 o'clock today, which is not good. I've got to get an earlier start. I've got to start setting an alarm or something. But anyway, I'm not real happy with the short amount of trail miles I did today. I'm going to have to make it up at some point. This part of Virginia anyways, is really rocky, rooty. But then so much of the trail everywhere is, so can't really complain. It is what it is. You just got to deal with it. Just got to deal. All right, I'm signing off now. End of day 3, I think. It's all starting to kind of blur. It's just kind of the trail looks the same. Everything is. That's why I was going Nobo all that ways, and nothing looked familiar because it all looks the same. When you're so busy just staring down at the trail so you don't trip, there's so much you don't really notice around you. And I had no idea I was going backwards on trail that I'd already hiked. Got to learn to check gut hooks a lot more, which I started doing a lot after that. Like every 15 minutes I was checking it to make sure I was still going the right way. All right, again, signing off. It's nice having someone to talk to, even if it is virtual people at the other end of this video. Well, not that you're really virtual, but to me right now, y'all are. Okay, good night. I'll see you in the morning. Wow, it's very pink in here. Well, my tent is cranberry, so it's making me a little pink. So I decided to move to a different campsite. I heard voices of family playing down by the river, and it was a very comforting sound, the sound of people and their voices and having fun. And so I came down here closer to the I guess it's a little river. Seems too big to be a creek. But now the voices are gone. They've probably gone home to have dinner or whatever. Don't think they're camping out here. So it's very quiet, and all I hear is the water. Occasionally I hear a truck or something going down the road that's just on the other side. Yeah, it's a little lonely out here. I kind of miss the sound of people, conversation. I thought I would really enjoy the solitude. I'm kind of surprised that I'm not. In fact, I'm really surprised. I don't know where all the Sobos and flip-floppers are, but they're sure not coming through here right now. I don't know if they're behind me or ahead of me, but they're not here. This is a really popular camp spot, and once again, I'm the only one here. So I think when I do my second half of this through hike, I definitely want to start at the same time as all the flip-floppers from Harper's Ferry. I don't mind hiking alone, but this setting up camp at the end of the day all by myself and no one to talk to, that kind of stinks. Maybe I'll get used to it. Maybe it'll be good for me. I don't know. Maybe God wants to just spend some one-on-one time with me and get all the people out of the way. I don't know. But anyway, I'll show you in the morning where I set up camp. It was a little damp once I started setting my tent up. I realized that the moss that looked so nice and cushy was soaking wet. But I was kind of committed at that point, and I just hope it doesn't soak through. But I mean, it's not going to get on me and my sleeping bag or my quilt, whatever, because I've got this mattress pad. Yeah, I wish. I've got this sleeping pad, this Z-Light underneath me, so if it does soak through, nothing's really going to get hurt. It's not going to do any damage. But yeah, so already I've decided for my second half, I like this tent, it's nice, but again, my pack still, even after eating half my food, it's killing my shoulder. Something is killing my shoulder. This one. I can hardly raise my arm. I start out in the morning and it feels fine, and then halfway through the day, it hurts so bad, so bad. I just can't stand it. And I don't know if I gave the guy, my wrong size and it just doesn't fit me right. I don't know if I'm packing it wrong. I don't know what's going on, but my shoulder is just killing me, and I'm thinking I've just got to get my pack weight down some more. I've got to go like super ultra light if I'm going to be able to do a through hike. So I've decided that this is not going to be my tent for my second half. I'm just going to have to save some money and get a Z-Packs, which I didn't think I'd ever do, but it would cut the weight of my tent in half. So I've got to do that and then just see what else I can do to go super ultralight. I've already gotten rid of a few things. I've gotten rid of my sunscreen, my bug repellent, my bug itch cream, and I don't know, just some other miscellaneous things for my ditty bag. I was like, I don't need this much. The bugs really aren't bad. It's kind of cold, so there's really not much in the way of mosquitoes and ticks or anything. So anyway, yeah, so it's a little after 6 o'clock. Sun has gone down over the mountain over there, and it's very quiet. I've decided not to sleep with earplugs anymore because I think I'd rather be aware if there's something sniffing around my tent than suddenly wake up with it falling on top of me. Yeah, I'm imagining all kinds of crazy things out here. I'm sure I'll get over it. All right. I guess that's about it. Oh, I patched. Let's see, where is it? I took my repair tape and patched the hole. Oh, and check this out. I've got, like, I don't know what these bruises are about, but I've got a big one of those on my other leg too. I think it's from I think it was from that one rock scramble I did. My second day, I had to put my trekking poles down and climb up on a big boulder on my knees, and I think that's probably where I got those bruises from. Yeah, I could have really used some knee pads right then. But anyway, day 3 is done. It's blowing my mind that people do this for, 4 to 6 months. You can watch all the thru hiker videos you want, and I'll tell you what, it's just not going to prepare you for actually being out here. There's just no way. I mean, maybe it helps a little bit, but being out here in the real deal, it's a whole different world. I mean, I know I watched all of ER's Early Riser 71, all of his videos. I watched all of Dixie's. Nothing can capture what it's like to really be out here. It's a whole different world, especially when you're by yourself. I know ER was by himself, but he's a big, tall guy. Probably not much scares him. But being a woman out here by yourself, it's different. Especially someone like me who's been a wife and a mom and a grandma and really kind of social, at least with her family, and there's just always someone there. There's always someone around. I might be home alone during the day a little bit, but when I go to bed, there's always someone to say goodnight to. And right now there isn't. And it's hard. I can't even text my husband and say goodnight because there's no service here. But this is just one of the challenges that I just have to push through, get used to. You think you're going to love the solitude, but it's hard. It's really hard. And it's only day 3. But I'm just going to pray that maybe God sends me someone on the trail eventually. It's not that it scares me to be alone. It's just hard. It's just hard to be alone. I understand now those people on the show alone, what it's like for them. Probably only 10 times worse because it's so much more dangerous where they are. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard. But making the best of it. I've been wanting to do this for so long, and I know when it's done, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth all of it. So anyways, I'm going to go to bed now. I'm going to take a bunch of Benadryl and knock myself out. And I've got my sleeping quilt situated in a much better way right now than it was last night. I've got the straps on, and I've got the snaps all snapped, and so it should keep me a lot warmer tonight than it did last night. So I'm going to get myself tucked in, take my Benadryl, say my prayers, and I will see you all in the morning. Bye.